my people vote. You know that we are the voices.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Once again, welcome to the Neil and Desmond Show, Our Voice podcast.
What's up, y'all? Desmond, man, I'm excited. How you doing today?
Woo, man, listen, man, I am doing great. You know, Neil, let me tell you something. I had a great weekend. Got to chill with the family. Got a few gifts. You know, the Father's Day thing. You know, it was bumping.
I love hearing that, man.
But let me tell you, I really felt like blessed. Right, got a little rest, and I'm charged up, ready to go, man.
I love it. I love it. I got to get out on the water, man. Did some tarpon fishing, some snook fishing with the guys, man. I had a good time. We needed your luck. Every time you're on the boat, the fish jump into the boat.
They jump into the boat.
You know, so we were missing you.
And no resistance is futile.
What you got over there, man? What you got there?
Oh, listen, man. You know, these just came in, you know, over the last week. In the mail, y'all. Check it out.
Ooh.
The new paperback version of my book, Let My People Vote.
That's a good read, man. Yo, if you guys haven't checked that out yet, you gotta check that out.
Listen, if you haven't gotten a copy, please get a copy of this. And then you know what? Why I'm most excited about the new paperback version is that now that it's paperback, it can be sent to people who are incarcerated.
There we go.
Go into prisons now.
That's what's
right?
up.
And that's what I've really been wanting for quite some time, to be able to get this book in, you know, institutions, whether it's the local jails or the state prisons or even the federal detention centers, really to get this in front of folks and let them know that no matter what their current circumstances are, that they have opportunity to overcome those things and do great things.
I got to tell you, when I read it, man, I was like just full of hope, right? So getting it in people's hands who could use some hope, man, wherever they are, that's right on.
Well, everybody, like we always say, welcome to the Our Voice podcast, man. This is a podcast that's by us, for us. You know, we recognize that a whole bunch of other folks may have a million and one different degrees and all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, we are subject matter experts, right? And this show is used to amplify the voices of people who've been impacted by the criminal justice system and tap into their expertise, their learned and lived expertise, and channel it in such a way or amplify it in such a way that folks across the nation, right, will be inspired, will be motivated, would know that they're not out there alone. And so I am happy to be here with my partner, Neil, and our very special guest that Neil is probably going to introduce in a few minutes. But this is what this podcast is about. It's about us. It's about elevating our voices and making sure that we have a say in dictating how our communities, how our countries ran, that we have a say in dictating policies, sensible policies that would value the humanity in each and every one of us and create safer communities.
Man, that's right on, Desmond. And if this is your first time listening, watching the Our Voice podcast, welcome. You know, this is about people who've been impacted by the system, you know, and our daily lives, the real lives that we lead, you know, those of us who are trying to get jobs, trying to bust through that housing system, you live like anybody else, live that American dream, man. Welcome to the show. And like Des said, I'm excited. We got a fun guest today. I know. You're going to try and dim it down a little bit. I know, right?
I'm not going to dim it down.
Come on, man.
You know, all right, it could be kind of fun, right? But I think what's bigger than the fun, right, is the fantasticness of this individual.
Oh, no
right?
doubt,
I think our guest, man, is an amazing, inspirational guy, you know, a young jet. You know, I like to call him a jet because I'm much older than he is. But it's a person that we should have had on a long time ago.
Oh, say it, right? Man. That's right.
A long time ago. You know, at the beginning of the year, we gave our production team, you know, what didn't we give him a new name?
Well, we challenged
ZB. Yeah, the ZB production team. That's Xavier and Brandon. Amazing, top of the line production team we have here. And then they are let me see how to put it. Staffed, and they are supported, and they are inspired and guided by K Money.
K Money
Kenyatta right? So we got an amazing team that have been working behind the scenes to help put together this show. At the beginning of the year, we challenged them to bring on like some top line guests.
I think we said, hey, we want some GOATs on this show. We want some Tom Brady's, we want the best of the best.
And I got to say that we got another GOAT. Man. When it comes to Central Florida, man, this cat is a GOAT. Be on TV and the news, doing all kinds of exclusive on documentaries and all kinds of stuff.
When you think about it, it's almost like it's impossible, all the amazing stuff he does, right? He's a great dad. He's a business owner. He's an advocate for real change. I mean, I'm with you. I'm going to start bringing it down a little bit too, man, because that's just too much for one person.
So who we got there?
Let me introduce y'all Marquis McKenzie. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Marquis.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, good to have you.
Well, I said we done told it all. Ain't nothing left for him to tell. Like, you done let all of it out the bag, Neil. Well, I mean,
not all of it.
No,
like, okay.
But it's definitely a pleasure.
What's your middle name then, man?
My middle name?
Yeah.
Real middle name? Or
what's your government name, man?
You want the government name or the play name?
No, what's a play? Is it Money Making McKenzie?
No.
Marquis Money Making McKenzie?
No, I'm going to give you something better than that, man. The nicest Republican ever.
Oh.
Wait, so
hold up.
Oh.
We're not about to go to this.
Just right there.
No, he
put it right there.
He came out throwing doggone haymakers.
No, that's right.
Back up.
This man's a businessman. Oh, go ahead. Back up. All right, sorry, you're right.
Marquis, say hello to our folks out there in YouTube land and podcast land. And just let folks know, seriously, just a little bit about, who you are in your early beginnings.
Definitely. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I feel delighted, coming behind Monique World, coming behind Sheena Meade, and not even that, being a single. So to be sitting in the same chair that they in, I feel delighted. It's a pleasure to be here. With that being said, I'm Marquis McKenzie. Born and raised in Central Florida, Orlando. Tampa Bay fan, Orlando Magic fan.
Tampa Bay, man. You got to throw that Tampa Bay up in there.
I like this.
Hey, he's a part-time Tampa Bay fan, y'all. Go ahead.
How can you judge somebody else's fan?
But he is, man. He's part-time, man, with it.
Yeah, but, I said, at a very early age, I found myself, took out of the juvenile system, charged as an adult, sent to prison on my first offense, and that's what got me here to this work.
How old were you, man?
15.
15.
Yep.
So you got direct filed.
Direct filed.
Can you talk about a little bit about what direct file is, man?
Yep. So direct file is, so for one, I would say that the state of Florida, we send more juveniles to adult prison than any other state in the U.S. And direct file is when the offense is serious enough, the state attorney have the discretion to take you out of the juvenile system and charge you as an adult. In my case, I had an armed robbery. Victim wasn't hurt. The things that I took a cell phone and a wallet. And that caused me to be sent to prison and lose my rights before I even had them or even know that I had them at the time.
How much time was you sentenced to?
So I received a youth offender plea. And what a youth offender plea in the state of Florida is a 6-year sentence. In my case, I had 2 years incarcerated and 4 years on probation.
Okay. And then what, I kind of love, you told me the story before, right? Because when you was incarcerated, y'all used to have like challenges and stuff like that about who had the cleanest barracks, right? And could you just share that story and how that inspired you to do something different when you came out?
Yeah, definitely. And the funny thing about that story, right? Growing up, my mom used to make us clean, right? And I used to hate it. Like she used to, go outside. Real story. She'd go outside, get a cup of dirt, and she would throw it in the tub, and we had to clean dirt.
She was gonna make you clean,
right?
Wait, hold up. Zay, you heard that, and y'all thought I was bad, right? Okay, so I ain't that bad after all. Okay, go ahead.
And I think it was a Georgia thing. My parents from Georgia, so them saying this is something that their grandma used to do to them, and that's funny how I got my name of my business. It was part of that, but I never knew that years down the line that would impact me in a major way. And I was sentenced to a youth offender count, and they considered it as a gladiator count. A lot of fights. We're young people there that just running wild, and they got to the point where they took a lot of our rights from us. No canteen, no visitation, no rec, and the ways that we can get that stuff back is we had to compete by who had the cleanest dorms, and just some odd way, and I'm gonna say God-driven, I was the houseman, and I was particularly tasked with cleaning the dorm every day. And for 6 months straight, my dorm came in first place because I was cleaning it. And I was
And
like,
y'all got to eat canteen.
got to eat canteen.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you was a hero.
Yeah,
you was
no
already
doubt.
a hero,
Yep.
right? When you was incarcerated.
Yep, didn't even know it. And I was like, if I'm doing it here for free, I might as well, go out and do it. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. And that was drove the passion behind it. But even more importantly, even when I was incarcerated, you had the times when I was depressed, go through a lot of stuff. But when I cleaned, for some reason, I found myself at the most peaceful moment while I was incarcerated. And I took that same energy as far as if I clean my life up, how much peaceful I can be. The same thing when I clean, so I enjoyed it.
Man, that's powerful.
That's what's
powerful.
up, man.
So let's frame this up then, because you've mentioned it a couple times, right? You end up starting a cleaning business,
Yep.
right? Like, how did that? You gave us the beginning here. Kind of keep walking
that
it out,
did-
man.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen immediately after you was released, right?
No, it didn't actually. When I got out again, I found myself being depressed. That was one of the most, depressing times of my life, because the same time I got out in 2008 was the same year I was supposed to graduate from high school. So I found myself saying that, I'm gonna be at the lowest of the barrel. All of my classmates gonna look at me crazy. You coming out of prison, you're supposed to be walking across the stage. So I was depressed a lot, and then I found myself trying to go to school. I went to college for about 2 years. And then I tried to go to a certain program. I wanted to be a registered nurse. Still didn't know, because I was 18 when I got out. Didn't know the serious of a nature of being a returning citizen. I thought it was, I was going by the jail talk. You commit a crime. As a juvenile, it won't be on your record. I didn't even know that I was adjudicated guilty. Didn't even know what that meant. I thought I was a juvenile. That was it. And I got denied to be a registered nurse. Then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go for early childhood education. I want to teach boys, particular kids that look like me, about the system. And then I tried to apply for that and got denied again. And I was like, dang, I can't even go to school or even try to be a teacher or a nurse. And then I tried to get certain jobs, still not knowing the nature of having a felony conviction, and got turned down. And I was working at KLC to the point when I actually won a competition for the top cook in the state of Florida out of 300 cooks. And I was getting up for a promotion, and I couldn't even get the promotion to be a general manager.
Do you know the secret recipe?
I do, but I
7?
can't share.
But wait, but they didn't give you a promotion, so you shouldn't be obligated to tell. I know, because I'm a huge Kentucky fan.
Nah, but the funny thing about KLC is they have the ingredients already mixed. So even if you couldn't even figure it out, they got it already mixed in a pat, and you put it inside the flour, so they don't even want you to know it that bad.
Oh, you like KFC better than Popeyes?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
yeah.
Wow.
The grilled chicken is on point, and it's healthy, bro. You don't see when you don't.
I understand, man. I
know
see the
I
gun
know
show here.
You've been slimming down too, though, Neil. Matter of fact, I gotta give you a little
Heavy
shout out on that,
chicken
man.
diet. I appreciate the shout out,
For real,
man.
the
Yeah.
Atkins diet, y'all. I'm telling you, it works. Look at the gun.
Oh, so better than Chick-fil-A?
Better than Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Better than Chick-fil-A.
all right, man.
I know you're a huge Chick-fil-A fan, aren't you, Marquis?
definitely that macaroni and cheese. Man.
Oh,
Jesus,
come on,
you with
man.
That macaroni and cheese.
That's God's macaroni and
All right,
cheese right
so-
there, man.
So you at KFC, you got Cook of the Year, top cook in the state of Florida. You beat out 300 other contestants, and you go to get a promotion, and they said, nah,
Definitely
ain't happening.
couldn't get it
Why?
because of my past record.
Wow. Wait, so you had already proven, like you
On
bring
the
value.
job, you proven,
Yeah.
right?
And even after proving that, they still don't want to rock with you because you have
Yep.
a felony conviction. So what you do then?
So after that, I just got fed up. I stayed at KLC for a little bit longer just to sharpen up my cleaning skills because I was cleaning the kitchens and stuff. So I was like, let me get this.
So you
free
were
training.
cooking and cleaning.
Yep, cooking and
Oh,
cleaning.
nice.
Well, as the cook, you was tasked with cleaning the kitchen
Really?
in your area every night. So I looked at it as an opportunity to learn how to commercially clean restaurants.
Yeah.
So I was cleaning the
Heck
front
yeah,
end
man.
to the end of the store,
Yeah.
getting free training. And then after that, I started the cleaning business.
You know, I did that, right? So when I had got out and I had eventually got a job at Denny's, right, and I was working as a cook, I would also, not only did I have to clean my line, but I even if they needed me to, man, I was cleaning bathrooms. I mean, I was painting lines in the parking lot. I was repairing holes in walls. I was like, listen, whatever y'all need for me to do, I'm gonna do it because I want to make myself valuable, so I can get more hours, and you guys are not gonna be quick to fire me and stuff like that. So I get, I could understand that situation you was in with KFC, cooking and cleaning, and figuring out how to leverage that to something bigger.
Yeah, man, that was where I landed too, right? Over a year, every night doing the night cleaning at a local restaurant in Fort Myers, the Edison restaurant. Man, I still get triggered walking in that place. I know every corner of every bathroom, of, every room.
Wow, so we all were once cleaners.
Yep. That's right.
Wow.
At the end of the day, man, the owner, right? It was like, I'm going to get judged on what I'm doing here. And that felt good, having walked my own walk to try and find a job. It's like, all right, so it's that simple. I do my shit, and you pay me. All right.
But there's only one of us who have taken that cleaning experience and have taken it and blown up with it, and that's Marquis, man. And so
yeah, man, for real.
So you go and you start your own cleaning company.
Yep.
And then what that look like?
We started in 2015. Me and my spouse, we started it, and we started with our tax money. And the reason I say that's important because, a lot of returning citizens, we get tax money, sometimes don't know what to do, but we made the initiative, so what, we're going to use this money to start a business. And I honestly was scared because, for a while I thought because of my past record, people were like, I don't want him coming in my house and cleaning. He went to prison for a robbery, you know what I'm saying? But
he going to rob us.
But we found ourselves, what I found is that a lot of people, when they see you trying to make change, that they're willing to give you an opportunity. And people in the community know where I was and where I came from, and they really seen that I was genuine about it, and they gave me an opportunity. And they started with us from cleaning houses. Right, and I even put in real. I think Desmond ripped me off one time, man, because I cleaned his house for him.
Really?
Yeah.
On live,
It's a fine line between ripping off and somebody who's just cheap, man. It's a fine line.
So was I being cheap?
No, but what I would say, I don't think he ripped me off, but what I think he did was teach me a valuable lesson.
What was that?
Knowing my market and knowing my worth, right? Because I think I charged Desmond maybe $60.
And you did $100 worth of work.
And,
Jesus.
But it was me. It's like knowing the business. It wasn't just about if somebody do give you an opportunity, are you willing to take advantage of that? And so I learned a lot from that experience. But from doing that, a lot of people seen the work that I provided, and it went from me actually cleaning people's houses to me actually going inside of banks cleaning, and to me doing big projects, and to the last point, me really taking the business serious and scaling it up, to landing a contract with the city of Orlando.
Well, we're gonna get to that, man. You kind of fast forward to some things, Marquis, because one of the things that I was impressed by when I was going through the notes that was so brilliantly prepared by our production man.
Like Mozart, man.
Like
it's just
Mozart. By the way, if y'all
imbibed it all.
If y'all notice, we don't have notes on our table anymore.
No notes, man.
It's been banned by our other production man, Xavier. We can no longer use notes, so he's forcing us to have to do our research early and often before we get on the podcast, and so we'd like to thank Xavier for that. Bit of motivation. But reading through Brandon's
Did you say bitter motivation?
Reading through Brandon's notes, I was reminded of, the thing that had really impressed me about you when I first got to know you. I know that, like, every so often you were in the early stages of your business, because, folks say that when you start a business, you're not really expecting to see any major profit until at least about 5 years. But I know that immediately when you got into the business, you started giving back. The two of the things that stuck out was the belts and tie collection that you used to do. So we can give belts and ties to young folks, teach them how to tie a tie, how to wear a belt so their pants won't be falling off their behind and stuff like that. And then the other thing you did over the summer was that you would clean the home of senior citizens for free.
Yep.
Right? What was that motivating factor that made you want to do things like that, even though you just poured your refund check into starting a business that you ain't never ran a business before? You already nervous, right? You all in on this, right? And you know that you need profit. You still got to put a roof over your head and provide for your family, whatever. But what made you say, in spite of all those uncertainties, I'm still going to give back? Right. What made you do that?
All right. So it was three things. Right. The first thing it was guilt. right? You know, I felt bad for the stuff, you know, the crime that I committed and taken from someone, and I felt like I owed it to my community, owed it to that person, that I should give back as much as possible. The second thing is, as my early ages of being incarcerated, one of the quotes that I live by to the day, I learned by Zig Ziglar, and it simply states that if you can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they need. Right, and that was my task, to just help enough people get what they need. And then 3, we just wanted to make sure we took care of our community, and just know that anyone who's incarcerated, they're not always their past, and that we can change that. So we wanted to change that narrative, that somebody who get incarcerated, they can come out and they can redeem themselves. And we thought by giving back to our community, one of the ways we could do that.
You want to jump into this conversation
and
right now.
You just conveniently left out his middle name now. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, we going to get to that, bro. All right. Mr. Marquis, what he said, the friendliest Republican McKenzie, right? And definitely the owner of the top cleaning company in Central Florida, and perhaps even all of Florida. Right, and matter of fact, what's the name of this company, man? Let everybody know.
Tell us about it.
Do a
man.
little promoting.
Come
bro.
on now.
So the name of the company is the Dirt Master LLC. If we didn't clean it, it's not clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
if we didn't clean it, it's just not clean.
And I tell you what, the cleanest vans I've ever seen, man, are the Dirt Master
Yep,
vans.
and definitely the jackets and the t-shirts and all of the swag. Yeah, it's kind of smooth, right? It give us a run for our money.
That's right.
When it comes to branding. Nobody brands like Marquis, though, man. And so, Marquis, where we left off at was, you came up out of incarceration, did a little stint, KFC. I'm very disappointed I didn't get a chance to taste your world-renowned chicken there, and then at some point you had to leave because KFC wasn't trying to see through that felony conviction, and you started Dirt Masters LLC, and immediately after you started that, you immediately started giving back to the community.
Right.
Right. Now, today, here, June of 2020, man, what is Dirt Master doing now?
Right. So one of the things that Dirt Master's doing, so last year we shot a documentary. We wanted to add reentry apprenticeship to our company. And basically, simply what that means is that we wanted to openly be a company that say that we hire returning citizens. Not only that, one of the things that we identified is that a lot of work release centers here in Central Florida, companies come in and they hire the returning citizens while they're incarcerated. But when they get out of incarceration, they can't take advantage of those same opportunities. And we wanted to come in and be a company that said that we're working with you while you're incarcerated, that when you come out, we want to give you a second chance as well, give them some hope. So that's the biggest thing we're doing, is trying to build a company and a base of returning citizens working with our company.
Wow. And then what's happening on the 4th?
So on the 4th of July, we got awarded the contract to clean Lake Eola, which is a major park here in Orlando, and we basically cleaned up the whole park. And that day we got to have about 26 people with us, and out of that 26 people, I want to say about 17 of those individuals are returning citizens with us.
Man, the water is rising on returning citizen and second chance employment, especially here in Orange County, man. You see your efforts with changing policy, right? On Desmond Meade Day last year, the county announced an expansion of second chance employment, and the story you're telling, I hear it. I'm like, yeah, man, the water's getting warm. People are seeing, like, man, this is a great place for people to be on my team.
Woo. And Neil, there's still an untold story, though.
You're not talking about the nicest Republican part. You're talking about
listen, we gonna get to that.
All right.
But there's something even bigger than that, right? And we haven't mentioned it yet.
Whoa, what's that?
Well, the fact that don't Marquis rock with FRC?
Look at that.
He's not only an owner of a successful business, he's also our interim director of organizing.
He never sleeps is what happens, man.
Man, this dude don't sleep.
Is that right? He's a great dad. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a story there, too.
That's what I'm saying, man. There are layers to this Marquis, insert middle name McKenzie, that we got to unpack here, man.
Well, let me tell you. So when I first met Marquis, actually, let me tell you 2 stories. Well, we'll loop it into one. The first time I met Marquis McKenzie, I was actually introduced to him by a local commissioner, and we were at a meeting to discuss gun violence in the African-American community and what could be done, right? What was trying to figure out what's the proper response to gun violence. And the local commission was like, got a young man up and coming, right? Bright future, whatever. We wanted to connect you to him, and he ended up connecting me with Marquis. We talked for a minute or two, whatever, but we really connected in the summer of 2016 when we was engaged in voter registration and voter turnout in local election. And FRC, that was our launch of our first ever GOTV efforts, and it was called the Your Vote Is My Voice campaign.
Yeah.
Right? And what we did was we hired 10 returning citizens to register. Actually, we didn't even do register. We just did voter engagement and voter turnout. That's all we did. We didn't even do no voter registration. But we had 10 returning citizens go into their own communities talking to people about why they should vote, why they should pay attention to local races, right? And basically the tagline was that I can't vote, and so I need you to go to vote and be my voice, right?
Talk about that experience, man. What was that like?
Man, it was crazy, right? Because I didn't know nothing about politics, not alone know anything about voting, right? And I honestly didn't even, be honest with you, transparent, I didn't even think this was going to pass. I was like, man, nobody in our community care about voting. And then not only that, we talking about returning citizens, saying, I want my gun rights back. I don't want my voting rights. And I think that was one of the first things I told Des, was like, I want my gun rights back. I don't want to vote. And it was like, you're a returning citizen. You can't even vote. Right, and from that day on, he schooled me, and I learned about the process and how important was the process, and I had the unique opportunity to go into the community and build a voice for it and be an advocate for it. And even then, people didn't really take it serious until they started hitting the headlines, and I think that's when I took it serious. It was like, wait, this is on the news, major news? And then it picked up a lot of traction, and I started learning the process of voting and how important it was and took it serious.
I think one of those stories was Marquis knocking on the door of somebody who remembered him when he was legit, causing all kinds of ruckus in the community. And like, I remember you. I remember your little bad behind. Yeah, you used to run around here doing all kinds of dirt and all that kind of stuff. And what you doing now, young man?
Did you get her out to vote?
No, dude, from my understanding, like hold up. He closed the door and went in the house and got his family together and took his whole family to go vote because he was impressed with Marquis and knowing how he transformed his life from being this troublemaking Dennis the Menace Jit
to knocking on the
to
door,
knocking on doors, talking about something important.
That's right. That's right. I remember meeting you in 2017 at FRC event and bowling and karaoke.
Can he bowl? Can Marquis bowl?
Marquis can bowl.
Can he bowl better than you?
Nah, man.
Okay, that's right. That's one. Hey, that's the one time where Neil is not going to play second fiddle or be the nice guy, right? When it comes down, can he bowl better than you, Neil?
No.
And Neil
not even trying to be diplomatic about this. Normally, you ask Neil a question like that, he'll try to be diplomatic to spare a person feelings and all that. But he's like, nah.
And Neil a pro in that bowling, man. He was bowling the ball off his forearm, man.
That's
so
fun.
What did you think about Marquis?
Right away, man, I just was drawn to your hope that you had, how you interacted with people, natural politician, and I mean that in a positive way. And I just watched, I was like, man, he is a guy with a purpose, right? Like networking, talking to people about the movement, sharing your story. And I just remember being impressed from the get-go, and then to see and how you handle yourself, how you take your time seriously, you're intentional about what you do and how you do it. Man, it's been great from the get-go from my perspective, dude.
Definitely appreciate it. It's been a pleasure to work up on both of you guys' leadership. Yeah.
I hear that. And so, Marquis, speaking of, I mean, Neil, mentioned that P word, right? Talking about politics and some about, you're a natural politician. You ever thought about running for office?
Yeah, always.
Yeah? Yeah. What you gonna run at?
Filing deadline just passed, though, man.
Wait.
So we're not talking. You're not running right now, are you?
No, not yet. What?
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Are you running yet?
It's not about me right now.
No, I understand.
It's about Marquis.
I understand.
Right? I'm running from that question. Right? But Marquis, what was it something that happened that made you stop and say, wait a minute, maybe I should run for office?
Yep. I think for me it was more as I got into the political arena and seeing the stuff that a lot of our what politicians could do and not actually doing. It kind of made me mad, right? And knowing that, it should have always been people over politics, but it seemed that they're playing politics over people and not realizing that the people have the power and, making the people feel like they don't have the power. I definitely didn't like that and definitely feel like it wasn't fair, and I feel like I want to use my voice to help with that.
So you think that also made people less engaged in the process, right? So it was a cycle where certain people stay in power, and in order to do that, they deflate how people see the government.
Definitely.
So you say 2 years from now you get elected in the office and you have the power to change policy around juvenile justice reform. If you had to pick one policy to change, what would it be and why?
For juvenile justice reform, it's going to have to be direct foul. Definitely have to make sure that we're not charging juveniles as an adults. I'm a firm believer we should hold them accountable for their actions, but not as an adults, right? That'd be maybe the first thing that I want to try to sign off on is about direct fouling youth and creating a better system for them to be able to go through.
All right, and what about, say, housing?
Housing?
Yeah.
We're going to, in the state of Florida, for instance, I've been out, since for 14 years now, and I still can't put my name on a rental application. Right?
What?
Yeah. It's what state we live in, right? One of the things, I'll make it easier, create some type of plan for returning citizens to be able to rent, right? You know what I'm saying? We just got an invite, recently, organization reached out and said, hey, can we have FRC to back us at the Board of County Commissions for rent control? And I was like, yeah, it sounds good, but as returning citizens, we can't even rent. Right, so we going in there to support something that don't even benefit us, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but giving us a
So how you feel about that?
What being not being able to rent?
No, I mean, so
or being asked to be a part of an effort to do policy change that doesn't impact us, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds kind of crazy to me.
It's real crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because a couple of years ago when we was asking for rent, we couldn't even get organizations to even step on it. We even sign off on it to say that they support it. But now that you want that support, we gained the power. It's like nah.
I love how smart and intentional you are, right? Because sometimes what happens is you get these groups together, and then lo and behold, the banks and the developers all decide to build more stuff, but you still can't get returning citizens, and there's still not rent, right? So it's like there's issues that we can't move unless we make sure that they move, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, and it probably would have been more better, and maybe would have made me to say yes if before they even sat in the meeting, they brought us to the table to talk about some of the stuff in the rent control and the stuff. But being that we didn't have any input, it's like kind of using us. So.
Because you got 25 employees rolling on July 4th. I'd like to rent to you.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? You got money to put in my pocket, right? I mean, there's a bunch of people who, this system ain't working, man.
Definitely, it's backwards. So we'll create a policy that give our returning citizens a fair opportunity to rent. So that'd be one of the biggest things.
Okay. And so let's talk about your experience working for FRC.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say all good things just because I'm here.
No, honestly, the experience working with FRC, when I actually took it serious and realized the impact that we was making, it's been fun. Like it's been a real, you know what I'm saying?
Who made you take it serious? You can say her name.
No, just having a unique opportunity to work it up on the Sheena Meade leadership was impeccable, right? You really learned a lot. You humble yourself, and not only that, being able to work with a lot of different consultants that the organization brought within, it shows you different dynamics, and it just empowered me a lot to really know that if I was taking it serious, how many more other people lives that we can impact, and if you're not taking the work serious, how many people that you're stealing from and you're hurting, and you're slowing down their growth process. So it's been fun. I used to hate to travel across the state. I used to just want.
Now you can't keep him out of a rental. I tell you,
I used to want to come in.
You're like a traveling statement.
I just want to come in, clock in, go home. But you know what I'm saying? As I took it more serious and as I go across the state, I get to network and see other things that other counties are doing. That's what made me even more mad. It was like, wait, your mayor can do that, and my mayor is not doing it. It shows me the work, but being able to network in the experience, just to grow with everybody else, it's been fun. So, and not only that, to be a returning citizen, to be able to lead the initiatives that's impacting my life. Most times you see people as returning citizens, we don't get invited to the space to talk about issues that impact us. You have people that's over housing and talking about solutions for returning citizens, and they're not a returning citizen themselves. So being able to lead something that's impacting my work has been the most fun thing about it.
You know, the thing that you said about just recognizing the impact, you know, I go back to 2016 when, you know, Marquis was a young buck in the movement, you know, and we were, you know, we had the 10 folks in the I Vote, Our Voice campaign, and the result of that campaign was that Florida got its very first African-American state attorney in its history, right, in Aramis Ayala. And she was a huge underdog. And, you know, I'm not ashamed to say it, you know. I know our work played a major role, right, in making that happen. But the thing that struck me the most was prior to Aramis Ayala coming into office, Orange County was the worst county as it related to, I think, direct filing and charging juveniles. Yep. The worst county in the worst state, because Florida led the nation, like Marquis said. Right. And so the worst county in the worst state was Orange County, right? And 2 years after Aramis Ayala was elected in the office, it became the least county.
Whoa. So it went from the most county to the least county.
To the least county. And that is a significant drop. And one of the things that stuck out to me was that directly impacted people played a major role in making that happen. Now, they didn't change the policies, but what they did was that they were able to get someone in who did, and that they were able to show that they can impact policies by electing the right folks, right? And that the lives of juveniles who would have normally been funneled into the criminal justice system, right, is no longer, you know, they're no longer facing that. There are so many people, juveniles, that is not having their lives destroyed. And I trace it back to the work that Marquis and 9 other folks did in Orange County.
And so how's that make you feel, right? Because you're sitting there seeing the fruits of your labor, right? And that when you intentionally get involved in something, you can have an impact on exactly the issues you're trying to work on. Then you roll into 2017, collecting petitions, 2018. What was that moment like for you, man, right? We're collecting petitions all across the state, right? From people who are feeling that pain of this broken system and want to change it. And you've got this experience Des just talked about, in which you've seen what can happen when we get in the community and talk about issues that impact people's lives in the community.
Yeah, it made me feel real good, right? Not only that, it stored my faith inside the system, right? You know, before me learning anything about politics or in voting, when you talk about voting, the first thing the community, somebody says, the president never done nothing for me. And that was the same thing. So to see it go from, I can go on a local level and get somebody elected by just going out in the community and talk, it inspired hope. And not only that, it was like, all right, well, we got a state attorney elected. We probably can get a governor elected, or we probably can impact the presidential election. And then when we broke it down and looking at the numbers, right, in particular, in one of our districts, we got 25,000 registered voters in that district. And then we looked at the turnout, you only had 2,500 people registered to vote. It was very slim margins. It was like something ain't right here. But, you know, from the power, just going in there, having those conversations and talking about all the way from how you got treated as from the sheriff office, all the way from your judge, and realizing that those people was elected officials. Those were the conversations that resonated with people in my community versus talking about all other type of politics. But when we broke it down to that simple to them, it showed how easy you could influence them to go out and be a part of some elections. And they can see the actual local change and not from a presidential election, but see the change on the ground.
Man, when I hear that, it's kind of like you're right, where it's like, oh, hey, go vote for this elected politician or this person, and it might not connect, but it's like, oh, go vote for the sheriff, go vote for the judge, go vote for the prosecutor, right? Yep. Yeah.
And it ends some of that, what is that, name recognition, right? A lot of times you see in the black and brown communities, people get elected off name recognition. It's not even about the work that they put in. And so we wanted to kind of end some of that and seeing us do it, that really gave me proof that we can do it even on a major level and that we should go a little harder.
So that means you got like a double good shot, right? Because not only you doing the work on the ground, but you got name recognition too, right? Your name is known all over the county, right? I mean, you on TV, you in the papers. I mean, doing documentaries, man. How's that been, man? Getting in front of camera. I know you had to be nervous, like sometimes, right? I know I get nervous. You don't get nervous?
I get nervous every time. They say, if you ain't nervous, something ain't wrong, right? Something ain't right. But not even that. I was never a person who cared for attention. Like, I don't care to speak to media. I don't care, but it's just somewhat getting to this work and just being highlighted a lot. Not only that, it gave me a lot of balance, right? Not only that, it gave hope to my mom. I got direct file when I was 15. My mom was a correction officer. So when I got transferred to the adult jail, she was in there, right? So it was a lot of embarrassment to her. So for her to see me on the news, the same coworkers see me on the news, me working with some of her coworkers in the jail, it gave me some balance to know that I made my mom happy.
Yeah, walk that back, man. Walk that back, man.
You were locked up with your mom as a correct. Your mom? Oh, yep. Jesus. So she got to whip your behind, then she get away. Like, boy, how you end up in here? Yeah. Didn't I tell you stay home?
Yep, definitely. And it's crazy.
Wow.
Man, I thought it was rough having my mom as a teacher, man. That I can't imagine that, man.
Man, you got it easy.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Well, mom as a teacher, try.
I'm saying it.
Wait, how you like with the other people that was incarcerated, right? I mean, how did that play out?
How did that play out?
Did they know that your mom was a CO?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so
with the staff or the kids?
The other,
they're like, no wonder this place is so clean, man.
They like, all right, now you either give me what I want or I'm going to go tell your mama.
Yeah. No, that,
dude.
They'll make a threat. But, even then, I knew I already kind of embarrassed her by ending. I couldn't go in there and being acting more of, person. Yeah. So I went in there with my.
And we don't mean to minimize by laughing, but we're all friends here. So just,
I mean,
stop.
Let me tell you. Cause that's like like a far cry from my situation when I was when I did my first bit of time. I didn't tell my mom.
Oh wow!
Right? Matter of fact, nobody in my family knew I was incarcerated, with the exception of my cousin. And the only reason he knew was because I needed somebody on the outside to let me know if anything happened to my mom. Right, but everybody in my family thought I was doing something else. They did not know I was incarcerated. And so I was just smiling because I'm thinking, man, that's from one extreme to the other, right?
That's right.
For me going through and doing time without my mom even knowing, right? Someone that had to do time with the mama. Oh, Jesus. That's a swing there. That's a swing. But it's great to know that she's seeing how how you've progressed. And the amazing work that you're doing out in the community. I know she's like super proud of you.
Come on, heck yeah, she's proud of you, man. Business leader, advocate.
Yep.
Future politician.
Right.
I like
listen, if you don't go into politics, Neil, one of the things that Marquis can go into is fashion.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
I don't know if y'all.
You don't get to see it here, but yeah.
Check out his Facebook page, y'all. Right,
shoes alone, and just the
Marquis
shoes alone.
McKenzie or Dirt Masters, he fly on Dirt Masters page too. Check him out. What's your website, by the way?
On dirtmasters.com with the S.
Dirtmasters.com, right? And then he got Instagram and all that too, right?
Yep. So on IG, the Dirt Master CEO, and Facebook, Marquis Richard McKenzie Senior.
Okay. Wait, Marquis what?
Rayshard McKenzie Senior.
Rayshard. Okay,
ooh, that also begins with the R there. Yeah, that's
so what's this thing about the nicest Republican? What you mean by that?
So what I mean by that, voter registration, the update your voter registration is nearing soon. And I made a decision, ultimate to change my party affiliation. And
so what is it now?
So I'm a registered Republican.
All right.
Come on now, that's what's up.
All right.
So the reason I did that, right? For one, after doing my research, being African American, we started in the Republican Party, and then looking at some of the values that I line up, and then not only that, being a business owner. And then when you talk about just power and people who could do a lot of things and make a lot of changes, you look around today, you have most of the Republican Party is in position, right? And I was like, man, I need to be a part of whatever power that's making the ultimate decisions. And not only that, to change the narrative, right? You know, in our community, and I'm gonna just, you know, point fingers at myself. I thought, you know, it was based off color. If you was African American, you a Democrat, and if you was white, you a Republican. So, I tested that theory, having conversations with people in the community, and they would see it. You go right to the ballot, they go vote, and because you're African American, you go straight down the ballot and check all Democrat candidates. Not even doing your research. A lot of people in my community thought like me. And that was not always necessarily true. You have some people on both sides of the party that are not doing the right thing. And I just feel like, as my position I am now and my values, it lined it up to be a part of the Republican Party, and that's what I decided I wanted to go.
Well, I got to say, it's exciting. And as somebody who votes in the Republican primary in Florida, and the first person I voted for after getting my rights restored was a black Republican, right, who supported Amendment 4. And so, yeah, man, the world's a whole lot more diverse than people think.
Neil, I'm not even going to ask you if you voted for any Democrats, right? I'm going to put you out there like that, right? Because, no, honestly, I do believe that, you know, a lot of people are like, well, who you vote for and all that. You know, me personally, I think that, you know, there's a reason why when you go vote, you by yourself, or, you know, you got blinders or even a curtain or whatever. I think that's a personal choice, right? And I don't think anyone is obligated to say who you voted for. And then I also know that it's easy to lie. You know, it's either, oh, yeah, I voted for Marquis, when I know doggone well I went in there and I voted for Neil, right? And so you may say what people, you think people want you to hear. But I think at the end of the day, I think that voting is a sacred act. I think it's a personal act.
Right.
And it should stay that way. And so I'm not one to really push about, you know, who you vote for. But I am going to say that there are viewers that's probably, you know, looking kind of sideways about, you know, really, you registering Republican, and or you, I mean, talking about your values align. What are the values that's aligning, you know? Because once again, folks would associate things with Republican Party.
Right.
Like, one of the things, you know, you see it, you know, one of the things is a big R word, being racist.
Right.
You know, it's a natural inclination to think, okay, if you're a Republican, you're racist, right? But my experience been like, I've seen a whole lot of racism that in the Democratic Party. And so I think racism, just like felon disenfranchisement, knows no color, or knows no, not color, but knows no political party.
Right.
You know, it's about the individuals, and I think it goes way beyond that. But if folks are not there yet, and I'm pretty sure that your decision is going to be shocking to a lot, right? Young African-American dude, you know, that went to prison the whole 9 yards. You know, you sure it's not like retaliation because the '94 crime bill that was ushered in by Democrats? You trying to get back at them for that? Or, I mean, you know, this is, you know,
right.
It's different.
Yep.
It's different.
I think
you don't hear much of it.
It's a step in just being able to change that narrative, and being able to switch the way people think. And I think gracefully I have a unique platform where too many people won't question it. They probably be like, I may need to do the same thing Marquis.
Yeah, you making Neil happy as heck. Well, Neil, but now I finally got one.
But now I'm trying to be diplomatic, and I do say, like, I love the fact of how you did it, right? Because I know for me it was like, man, we don't want to just give this vote away to somebody. Man, they got to earn it. And so you're talking about doing research. You're talking about having a plan.
Thoughtful process.
My favorite people were all different political parties and all that stuff. But yeah, I am, you know, I register as a Republican and have voted that way. And I think that the movement and felon disenfranchisement transcends all that. And voting is so much more important than party politics.
Hey,
right?
Neil just happy, man, because he been trying me for years and couldn't get me to budge. And you're like, okay, I got one. But no, but Neil is right though. That was I know when Amendment 4 passed, and you know the day came when I was finally able to register. I registered as independent. It was very clear. I was like, listen, you don't automatically get my vote because you have a D or R next to your name.
Right.
You don't automatically get my vote because of the color of your skin, right? You have to work and earn my vote, right? And at the end of the day, you know, I felt that, you know, man, it was a long road to getting my voting rights back. It was a lot of hard work and headache.
We're all nodding on that one right there. Yeah.
I done sacrificed, I mean, so much, you know. There's a piece of my body that I no longer have because of the fight to get voting rights back. And to work that hard to get the right to vote back, it would be an insult to the movement. It would be an insult to everything that folks have done to get us this far, for me just to easily give it away to anyone, or for me to easily just not vote. Right? Me not voting, I think it would be like huge disrespect, and as well as giving it away. And so folks got to earn that.
Definitely.
They got
Every day, man. Every day go out.
The problem, and I don't know what the solutions to it is, but the problem is that Florida is a closed primary state.
Right.
Which means that you could be living in a community where there are a bunch of, say, Republicans in the community, a Republican candidate, and you can't, if you are registered as an independent or you're registered as a Democrat, you can't vote in that primary, right? And because Florida is a closed primary state, that there are various tactics that politicians can use to disenfranchise even registered voters, right? Then you won't have a say until like the general election. And so I think that is an issue that have to be talked about, because I don't think anybody should have to register as anything.
Right on, man.
Right? I'm registering as a lawful American citizen. I'm registered as a human being, as a citizen of this state or this community, right? And I should be able to vote for anybody I want. Whether they have a D or R. That's what I think, right? Absolutely. And so somehow or another, how can we get from that having to, we got to pick a tribe, we got to pick a side? I mean, just because you pick one side, that don't mean it's always the best side all the time.
Right.
And always have the best candidates. I don't believe that.
Yep. Issues.
What you think, Neil?
No, I think voting is bigger than partisanship. I think that there's this sacredness to the movement to restore people's voices and to liberate people in society that is so much more important than the temporary partisanship, as much as I love trash talking college football or politics with anybody. Right. But, I'm tracking with you 100% and all the hard work. And it would be a disservice to people who, see this movement as the deeper thing that it is than simply some temporary partisan conversation.
It's definitely not, man. So mad props, man.
Man.
To you making, I think, a very meaningful decision. And one of the things that we always say, man, is that, listen, whether or not we agreed, that's not the point. The point is that you're participating and having a voice in democracy, man. And so I just love to see that people are registering to vote and they're going out to vote.
Yeah, and people's voices are being heard. And, man, we appreciate you being on the podcast today, man. I'm looking at the time. We're already, past that time. So, man, thank you very much for sharing your story and talking all this stuff out, Marquis, on the Our Voice podcast. Yeah. And this has been a whole lot of fun.
Well, Neil, let me tell you, man. So throughout this whole episode with Marquis, man, a lot of thoughts. We got to bring him back, man, because Marquis is like, we're able to touch on so many different topics.
We're just barely climbing the mountain, man. Yeah.
Maybe if we speak nice, right, to XB Productions, right?
And K-Money.
Zaby Productions.
Zaby
Productions. Maybe if we can get even our audience to maybe send them like a direct message or email to our production team and say, hey, we think Marquis should come back more often because, man, he could talk about juvenile justice reform. He could talk about second chance, fair chance hiring. Man, he could talk about CJ reform. He could talk about being a business owner. What else can he talk about?
He can talk about being a father. He can talk about the housing work that he's doing. He can,
the fashion industry, on how to, be swaggish.
How he's blessed.
Yeah. I'm blessed. He ought to be trademarking that kind of stuff, right? But there's so much stuff that Marquis can really talk about. Listen,
hit us up, man. Message us, DM us,
please.
Demand Marquis.
Tell Zaby to bring Marquis back. Bring Marquis back.
Bring Marquis back. Bring Marquis back.
Bring Marquis back. We hope to have you back again, bro. Thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Awesome, man.
Much love and success, man. And you know what? If I wasn't busy shooting off fireworks, because I do my own little fireworks thing, on the 4th of July, I might have been out there, rolling up my sleeves and working with the Dirt Masters, man.
Appreciate that, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we can get Neil out there to do some work.
Come on, bring it.
All right, man. So, hey, listen, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know y'all love money-making Marquis McKenzie, the Dirt Master Pro himself, right? Hit him up on Facebook. Hit him up on Instagram. Dirt Masters with an S, right? .com, right?
Sir.
Dirtmasters.com if you want your house clean, if you want your residential commercial area clean. Man, listen, if you want the parking lot clean, just call the Dirt Master, man. He do it all,
If
man.
it's dirty and you want to clean, Marquis is
Matter
your
of
guy.
fact, it ain't clean to let the Dirt Master clean it. Point blank, right?
Hey, and thanks all for watching the podcast. Subscribe, hit that like button, share.
Right.
We appreciate
all
it.
the platforms, y'all. I mean, you name it, we on it. Right, whether it's Apple, whether it's YouTube,
Spotify, you name it.
Spotify, Fireside Chat. What else we got?
Man, you're naming them all, man. YouTube.
Well, listen, we got the all bases covered, man. We're like the Yankees, man. We got all bases covered, man. Please hit us up. Make sure you like especially our YouTube page, and share with your friends and family that Our Voice podcast is off the chain. That's what you got to tell them, right? Make sure you check out Desmond and Neil, because them cats are crazy.
And bring Marquis back.
That's right. And hey,
Thanks,
what's
y'all.
the best way to go out? But with our homie, Wavy Mob, the FRC theme song.
We the leaders of the new
Yeah.
school. Let my people vote. You know that we are the voices.